Welcome to the Report. Appreciate you guys for taking this time to hear me out today. In today's video, we got, of course, the NBA season, regular season that is officially over. And we're now here in the postseason. Before we get to the playoffs, of course, we got the play-in. And today on the Report, we're going to be giving you our play-in predictions and our first round predictions. And we're also going to check out where I was right in my predictions after the All-Star break and where I was wrong. So we're going to check those out as well as we navigate through these playoffs. We are currently at 2082 subscribers. So if you guys could be so kind to hit the subscribe button to try to get us to our goal of 2100 and beyond. But I really do appreciate it. And without further ado, let's start this thing.
Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the report? Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the report? Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the report? Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the report? Bring it to you live.
All right. We are here. Again, we are here. Live and in living color. A little bright up in here. Let's see. Everything good? Cool. Yep. So, of course, like I said, the playoffs are here. And, of course, on this show, we love to do predictions. We love to put it on the record who we think is going to win it. All right. So, this is what we're going to do first. We're going to talk about the East because the East is always a more easier road. The path is really not that complicated when it comes to predicting and outcomes. You pretty much get the gist on who's most likely going to do what. But of course, the play-in is this week, and we'll start there. But first, let's start with these records. So the only team that I had making it that didn't make the playoffs are the Philadelphia 76ers. What a disaster of a season they had, right? And I didn't have, I believe it was the Chicago Bulls. We can check it out right here. But I didn't have the Bulls in. And here's my video. So I had Cleveland winning 65 games, Boston 58. Cleveland, of course, was one game shy. Boston won 3 more than I had them winning. I had Milwaukee. I had the Knicks as a 3 seed. So I had that right. But they didn't win 55. Milwaukee was my 4 seed. Of course, that's Indiana. In Indiana, 5, and I got Detroit's record spot on with 44 and 38. So I got Detroit spot on. I had Orlando going 42 and 40. They were close. They were 41 and 41. And I had Miami going 41 and 41. I had Philly going 40 and 42 in Atlanta. So Miami actually, they didn't get to 40. Atlanta got to 40. And I had them at 38, so that wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad because, like I said, it is the East. The only things that out of position are Milwaukee and Indiana. They actually have, how many games did I have Milwaukee winning? I had them winning 52, but they got 48, and the Pacers got 50. Yeah, so those were my East predictions. That's where I ended up falling. So, like I said, during the All-Star break, you pretty much know, like, the teams that you see are going to be the teams that are in. It's the West that's complicated, but we're going to get there. So let's start off with our predictions on what we think is going to happen in the Eastern Conference playoffs in the first round. We'll take this thing round by round. So we're not going to, like I said, I already got who I believe is going to win it all. So we're just going to go first round in this video and see where we land afterwards. So in the play-in, you got Orlando. They will be hosting the Atlanta Hawks. And you got the Chicago Bulls hosting the Miami Heat. In the Hawks versus Magic matchup, I'm going to take the Orlando Magic to beat the Atlanta Hawks. And so Orlando will keep their 7 spot. I'm going to take Orlando in that series. And in the Bulls versus Heat matchup, Of course, the winner of this one plays the loser of Hawks and Magic. But I'm going to take the Bulls to win this game in Chicago. I'm going to take the Bulls to beat the Heat. And then you will have, excuse me, Hawks versus Bulls in Atlanta for the 8th spot, the right to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Hawks, Bulls, I'm going to take. That's a pretty tough one, but I'm gonna just stick with Chicago. I'm gonna go with the Bulls. I'm gonna go with the Bulls to claim the 8th spot, and so your official standings will be Orlando at 7 and Chicago at 8. And in the first round, I'm going to take, of course, the Cavs to beat the Bulls. I'm going to say they do that. And I'll give Chicago, I'll give them one game. You know what? No, sweep. They're going to sweep them. I can tell you who's going to get one game off a top seed. I'm going to take the Cavs to sweep the Bulls in the first round. And Magic versus Celtics, this is one where Orlando can definitely take one game off of Boston. I'm going to take Boston to win this series 4-1. And then you got the Knicks and the Pistons. Now, this is the most, probably in the East at least, the most anticipated series of the first round. At least in the East. Because everybody knows that the Knicks are on upset alert. The Knicks didn't, they're not the same Knicks that was from last year. And even that team couldn't make it out of the second round. And they came in this year with high hopes, and they were just, 3 seed all season long. The two teams ahead of them, Boston and Cleveland, they finished 0-8 combined against them. They didn't beat any of them. It was a disaster of a season when you think about it. Yeah, you got 51 wins. Yeah, you're a 3 seed. Yeah, you're in the playoffs, but the confidence level with the Knicks ain't there. And Detroit, an up-and-coming young team, man, who got Cade Cunningham. Definitely in the next year or so, Cade to be in the MVP conversations, be up there. But I'm still going to take the Knicks to win this series. I'm going to say it goes to 6. I don't think the Knicks lose this series. I think I wouldn't be shocked if they did, but I'm going to take them to beat the Pistons in 6 games. And then you got Pacers and Bucks. You got Indiana, and then, wow, you look at the top 6, you got 4 teams from the same division in the top 6. The Bucks, Pacers, Pistons, and Cavs. So in Pacers versus Bucks, even without Dame, we don't really know his status, but Indiana is a tough team. I'm not saying they're tough as in they can beat Boston or Cleveland. They probably have a better chance against Cleveland than Boston because, I think they'll have a better chance against Cleveland if they were to get there. But in that series, even despite not having Dame, I think Giannis is enough to carry this team past the Pacers in 7 games. And that Knicks-Pistons series, I'm taking the Knicks to win. I don't know if I said it, but I did say it, 6. I'm taking the Knicks in 6. But I'm taking the Bucks to beat the Pacers in the first round in 7 games. I think that's how that's going to end up playing out. 7 games. So again, the only upset really is 4 and 5. I have the 5 seed advancing past the 4 seed, but it's not really an upset. It's not really an upset. So those are my predictions for the Eastern Conference first round. And now in the West, here's the predictions video I put out about, like I said, a month All-Star break. During the All-Star break, I decided to do predictions because I didn't get a chance to do it in the beginning of the season. So I had Oklahoma. Let's go to the West, the Wild Wild West, real quick. Okay. So I had Oklahoma City winning 64 games. I had Memphis as my 2 seed. See, this is how complicated things are in the West. I had Memphis as my 2 seed winning 56 games. I had Denver as the 3 seed, Lakers as the 4 seed. Houston 5, Dallas 6, and this of course before the injuries. Minnesota, Clippers 8, Golden State 9, and they are a play-in team as I predicted. And Phoenix ended up getting in there. And I was off in the West, as you can see. You see the records, you see the standings, and then you see the actual. I had Lakers at 4, but they're actually 3, so they just flip-flop with Denver. They just flipped with Denver, and I had the Rockets, all the way. What did I have? Houston, the 5 seed. Yep. And you see how that played out. And Minnesota, I did call 49 wins. I did call 49 wins, but they're not a play-in team. The Warriors are a play-in team. I thought they would be lower. I think this was even before the Butler trade. And we saw how that worked out for the Warriors. It worked out great for Golden State. And Phoenix, what a disaster. So the Kings are actually in. So this is where I stand. This is where I stack up right here. And so, but for final standings, didn't I have okay, I did. So in the East, let me go over here real quick. So yeah, these are my final standings in the East at first. Orlando. So it pretty much worked out almost the way. Like I said, the only team is Philly didn't make it because I did do play-in predictions. And I said at the end of those, this would be the final standing. So Philly. All right, so let's go to the West. So I did the predictions, and then here were the final standings out West. I had the Clippers as an 8 seed, Minnesota 7, Dallas 6. I didn't have the Warriors in, so and that could happen where Golden State doesn't get in. Dallas definitely Dallas couldn't get in. They can win the play-in game. So these were my 8 teams right here, and you see what actually happened. This is how it played out. Anyway, so in the play-in, you got Golden State versus Memphis in the 7 versus 8 spot. And then you got the 9-10 Sacramento and Dallas. I was going to do a rant about the play-in tournament, how much I despise it, and because for all teams to play 82 games, and then at the end of the season, I can never get used to this. At the end of the season, Golden State and Memphis, 48 wins, and they could potentially, by 1 game, get their spot stolen. 2 games, actually, by a 39-win team or 40-win team. It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, I'm not going to go there. So Memphis versus Golden State. Of course, Golden State won the season series, so they get the home game Tuesday against the Grizzlies. And the scary thing about Memphis is that they're in a recent slump. The Grizz are in a recent slump. They are 4-6 in their last 10. They weren't looking good. If you've been watching basketball and just the Grizzlies in general, they were not looking. They just look like they're just there. You know what I'm saying? They'll make the playoffs, or in this case, they're in the play-in, but they're just there. And you know that they're not going to be a real threat to beat anybody. That's how we're feeling about the Grizzlies. So now with Golden State failing to beat the Clippers at home yesterday and avoiding the play-in, getting that week's rest, they have to turn right back around and play Tuesday. And the scary thing about a slumping team like Memphis is this right here could be the resurgence they need. So in this Grizzlies versus Warriors matchup, I'm going to take Memphis for the upset in Golden State. I'm taking the Grizzlies to beat the Warriors. I mean, and we think about the Warriors like coming off a loss to the Spurs in a game in which they were favored by like 17.5 at home, lost to the Rockets at home late in the season where Curry was held to just 1 basket made. And this was after they beat the Lakers. And you would think that they would have all momentum riding, but again, they just lost 3 at home to the Spurs, to the Warriors, Spurs, Rockets, and the Clippers. And I just feel like Memphis, this is the resurgence they need. So I'm going to take Memphis to beat Golden State in this game. And then in the 9 versus 10 out here in Sacramento, I'm going to take, it's 1 game. It's one game, and I know everybody like to cite the history of AD versus Sabonis, but this is one game. I'm taking Dallas for the upset. The Kings haven't been that impressive all season. I'm gonna take Dallas for the upset. There's a reason they're 40-42. So I'm taking Dallas for the upset to beat the Kings out here in Sacramento. And so that means Dallas will go on to play the Grizzlies for the 8th spot. And I'm going to take Ja and company to beat Dallas to get the 8th spot. And they will be playing the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round. Oh, no. I just messed that up. No, they won't. Golden State will be playing Dallas for the 8th spot. I'm taking Golden State. My bad. I'm taking Golden State to beat the Mavericks. Oh, and a Klay Thompson revenge game? And that'll be out here in the Bay if that happens. So I'm taking Golden State to beat Dallas, and Golden State will be playing Shai Gilgeous and company in the first round. And I am going to, in the first round, in the Warriors versus Thunder matchup, man, I really didn't appreciate how the refs carried the Thunder in that win against the Lakers, throwing Luka out. It made them look weak. The Thunder. It made them look weak. But in the first round against this Warriors team, they look so banged up. They desperately wanted that rest. You know, part of me want to say Warriors, but I don't know if they can run with the Thunder in a 7-game series. I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can hold up like that. So, and with Oklahoma City, you cannot have the regular season that you had in which you won 68 games, best record in the league by 4 games. You beat teams by an average of 13 points per game. You averaged 120 per game, and you cannot go into the first round at least, not even the second. I mean, you have to make the finals. Now, I won't hold it against them if they lost to Boston and Cleveland in the finals, but anything short of making the finals at least is a disappointment. So I'm going to give the edge to Oklahoma City in this one, and I'm going to say Golden State will take 2 off of them. I think it'll be 3-1 Thunder, and then Golden State will win that next one and then Thunder close them out. So I'm going to take the Thunder to beat the Warriors in 6 in the first round, because you can't lose in the first round. And then Memphis versus Houston. Ooh, that's a good one. I'm going to take Houston. I like Ime. I love the signing when he first signed with the Rockets a couple years back. I knew he would turn this thing around because you saw what he did in Boston. You saw the raw hand that he was dealt there as well. But this team, that's a defensive team, and I think this is the perfect matchup with the Grizzlies. This one will probably go to. I don't think this one will go to distance. I'm gonna take the Rockets to beat the Grizzlies. I'm gonna just say 6. Rockets in 6. I'm going to take Rockets over Grizzlies in 6. And then you got Lakers versus Timberwolves, 6 versus 3. And I am going to take, of course, I'm going to take the Lakers to win this series, but this is the matchup I didn't really want in the first round. I knew that at some point we might have to see them in the season, in the postseason, but I would have preferred Golden State, to be honest. But the Lakers got Minnesota, who, in this series, man, this is going 7. This one is going 7. And if anybody have the recipe, the antidote, or whatever on how to beat the Wolves, he knows it's Luka. Because Luka did this last year in the conference finals. So, and there was a report that the Lakers are leaning heavy on Luka when it comes to game planning for the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I'm going to take the Lakers to win this one in 7. I just really wanted Ant-Man to advance. And hey, he still could. These are just predictions, but he's running up against my team, and I can't go against my team. You see it highlighted on the screen. Lakers highlighted. They're clicked as a favorite. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Lakers in that one. And then we got Nuggets versus Clippers. We remember what happened last time these two teams faced off in the postseason. It was the bubble. Clippers were up 3-1. Nuggets came back to win 3 straight to win the series. But this time around is different. It's been so much going on in Denver, of course, with Mike Malone firing out of nowhere. Reports of him hyperventilating, locking himself in the office, having to call an ambulance. There's so much going on in Denver. And they have the MVP, but I just don't think with the way the Clippers are playing, I don't think I think Denver so many distractions. I don't think this is not their year to even get out of the first round. I'm gonna take the Clippers in this series. I got the Clippers beating the Nuggets, getting some revenge, I guess, some payback. I guess Kawhi was probably the only one still on the team. They didn't even have the same coach. They had Doc Rivers during that pandemic. But I'm gonna take the Clippers to win this series. Clippers 4, Nuggets. I'm gonna say it goes 7. I'm gonna say Clippers in 7. Clippers in 7 versus the Nuggets. So yeah, that's the first round. Those are our first round predictions right there. So if things pan out the way I predicted, you will have in the next round, you will have Cleveland taking on Milwaukee, and you will have Boston taking on the Knicks. If things happen in the West as I predicted, you will have Oklahoma City taking on the Clippers, and you will have the Lakers taking on the Rockets. So those would be your second round matchups. But we're going to see how things pan out. I just want to get my predictions out there because the play-in tournament starts tomorrow. And especially in the West, that Grizzlies-Warriors game is going to be a lot of fun. I plan to go live for that one. So please subscribe so you can be notified when I go live for that game. Should be a fun one. Will be a fun one. And I'm taking Memphis for the upset. I'm taking the Grizzlies for the upset. So, again, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate you guys for taking this time to hear me out. Let me know what y'all think. Who y'all got coming out of the first round? And we can talk about it tomorrow. We'll talk about it soon. Y'all have a good one. Peace.